So, spoiler alert, IGN just gave this game a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. A perfect game. Okay? We're gonna see why. Game is called Mixtape. It barely has any gameplay. It might have a gay character. May.
True nostalgia isn't the replication of a specific place or time, but of a feeling. It's those flashes of emotion that transport us back into memories that have long sat dormant. I was born too late to be a teenager in the 90s, and believe it or not, with this accent, I grew up thousands of miles away from the schools of Northern California. I've barely stepped on a skateboard outside of a few scraped knees in the summer of 2003, but none of that matters, and Mixtape knows.
I also did not ride skateboards, guys, when I was in middle school. What, 2006, 7, 8, 2006, 7, 8. Skateboarding was huge. The Tony Hawk games were out. Tony Hawk's Project 8, Underground 1 and 2, all of this stuff, and I never picked up a skateboard. So, yeah, me either, man. You know.
This Australian developer Beethoven and Dinosaur fills each and every moment of its coming-of-age tale with incredible music, perfectly handpicked to set the tone for its.
The music is copywritten, and you cannot stream it. They don't have like a streamer mode. So, guys, you cannot stream the game, okay? So be careful out there if you're a streamer. Careful out there. You cannot take the music off. You will get DMC'd.
Free-flowing chapters in a way only nostalgia can. As original as it is reverential, it's a masterfully constructed dose of new memories hinged brilliantly on how they remind us of our own.
Alright.
The coming-of-age story is perhaps my favourite framework in all of fiction. That longing for a time I didn't live in and being given a...
See, so coming of age is great before 2020, okay? Before woke, before the LGBTQRSTUV, before all that stuff, coming of age was normal, right? Like, it was normal. Well, I don't want to say Spider-Man, but like the coming of age stories that millennials, that people that grew up, that were born in the 90s saw, it was like, yeah, I identify with that. You know, there was like, you know, the bullying and the girl that you liked and this and that, and she didn't like you back, like just regular stuff, right? Nowadays, coming of age story is, am I gay or am I straight? Am I emo or am I not? Am I weird? I'm autistic or am I not autistic? I'm depressed and I'm not depressed. I gotta take pills, I gotta do drugs, I gotta, like, just weird coming of age stories that are just not the same as before. Okay? So 2026 coming of age story, take that into consideration moving forward about this review on this game. Okay? A lot of people are recommending the game. Am I going to try it? I don't know. I would love to give it a shot, but IGN giving this a 10 out of 10. It's already sounding weird.
A chance to hang out with friends who never knew me, are sensations I find myself coming back to often. This is far from the first video game to tackle the concept, of course, but it might just be the first one to have nailed a tonal balance that hits just right for me. I've tried to enjoy the Life is Strange series more than once, but I've just found its dialogue a little too corny for my liking to fully get into. Mixtape, on the other hand, feels more rooted in how actual people talk and is all the better for it. Sweet without being saccharine, thoughtful but never forced, and always funny.
There have been noise complaints.
Okay. The story centers on Stacey Rockford.
That was funny, supposedly.
and her group of friends as they look to make the most of their last day together and reminisce about past adventures before she skips town to chase her dreams in New York. You aren't given choices here, but experience these fully formed characters' hijinks and heartaches, warts and all, and they feel all the more realistic for it. That's not to say their recollection of these adventures isn't laced with flights of fantasy though, as they've clearly been embellished in Rockford's mind, allowing each to be presented with lashings of style as if they were playable music videos. There's a great sense of spectacle later on that I wouldn't dare spoil, but I'm going to show you a couple of little clips here of the sort of thing you'll be getting up to earlier on, including like a trippy softball session and a police raid of a house party that you escape by hurtling downhill in a shopping cart. And these are all soundtracked by some brilliant songs, none of which I can sadly play for you here because YouTube won't like that, but trust me.
Yep, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, the music, guys.
The playlist is incredible. I'll mention a couple later.
Fair.
And music is kind of a big theme of Beethoven and Dinosaur's games. If you played their debut, The Artful Escape, you'd know that it used psychedelic metaphor to tell a tale of self-expression. Mixtape, though, is far more grounded in its exploration of friendship and how those closest to us help us grow. It's a story that won't necessarily surprise, but will comfort, and is often helpful.
Now, what I gotta say is the style of the game is actually very good. I like the style of the game, and I like that it's different. You know, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, that type of, you know, frame rate and style. I actually dig that a lot. So our style of the game, I love it, and it's an indie game, so I love that. It's just, you know, what they might be pushing or what's going on in there. Something, all right.
Hilarious. It's like those aimless afternoons you spend with friends without any specific goal for what the day had in store. But you'd always end up learning something new about them, whether they'd want to reveal it or not. Obviously, those unlocked memories aren't yours, they're Rockford's. But these memories are just so well observed that they come across as universal, as if they could be ripped straight from your teenage Facebook or MySpace page if you're getting on a bit like me. In many ways, it's best to treat Mixtape, well, like a mixtape, with no knowledge of where it will go next.
Knock, knock, Capital One.
And of course, guys, it's a 16-minute video, so bear with me. There's some commercials in there. But yeah, guys, IGN giving this game a 10 out of 10. And giving Crimson Desert a 6. You know, it's classic IGN, guys. It's classic. But we're gonna give this guy a shot. We're gonna see what his arguments are for the game, and then we'll go from there.
Placed in the creator. There's no interest in fail states or high score chasing here, instead prioritizing existing in and enjoying the moment. Its simple mechanics match its simpler times, with each twist aiming to elicit a fresh emotion through interactivity in a way that only video games can. That can be as simple as hitting a series of buttons to headbang in rhythm to Silverchair's Freak.
Shit, it's the cops! Be chill, it's chill. Are they gone?
Or just having a good time designing your own slushies from a selection of flavours. Some though are a little more out there, such as the recollection of Rockford's First Kiss, where with each analog stick you control a tongue and awkwardly have to navigate a set of brace-filled teeth until mercifully a button pops up at the bottom that says, "That's enough." It's funny, it's gross, but you know, I pressed that button as soon as I could. Each memory sequence spawns from a...
Yes, guys, and I did see that game, but you literally see the two tongues going like this, and then the teeth, and it's like, why, you know? Maybe that's the way that just teens imagine what it will be like for your first kiss. It's, yeah, could be.
Keepsake found around the world that smartly serves as the key to unlocking cherished memories. In this regard, Mixtape is somewhat similar to What Remains of Edith Finch, although I'd never say it carries anywhere near the same amount of emotional weight as Giant Sparrow's masterpiece, instead sidelining deep-rooted familial trauma for a focus on youthful joy. Any replay value is found in wanting to revisit these short pockets of fun. They won't change, nor will the relationships or conversations within them, but familiarity is at the core of nostalgia, and I can see myself treating Mixtape like one of those comfort films you pop on every couple of years. You know what's going to happen, so the surprise factor is gone, but spending time with these characters whose lives are only a few hours long is still valuable. That's probably why I've already played through its roughly 3-hour campaign 3 times already.
So, keep this in mind, guys. Game is 3 hours long. Okay, 3 hours long. I don't know how much it is. It should be no more than $20. I think it should be 15 at that point, at that price, that length of the game. But keep in mind, this is a 3-hour game with barely any gameplay. IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Hanging out, getting buzzed.
I've got to get out of this place.
Best friends Slater and Cassandra are excellent.
Now, with that said, the length doesn't justify the score. The length doesn't have to do anything with the score, okay? This can be a 3-hour game, and it can be a very powerful story told in 3 hours. Don't get me wrong, okay? However, from what I've seen of the game at least, and the gameplay that this guy has shown so far, I don't know. It's really that, like, you must experience this game, like a must play.
Foils to Rockford 2, with an instant sense that these three have been a close-knit group instantly delivered via quick hit, sarcasm-fueled jabs, and the sort of goofy noises spilling out of their mouths that only occur when you feel completely comfortable around someone. The writing and performances really do come across as just almost effortlessly natural, which is such a difficult thing to accomplish. Cassandra in particular has some standout scenes and ended up being my favourite of the bunch, even if some aspects of her character change a little too abruptly to be 100% believable at certain parts in the story.
I'm bored. I'm too young to be.
Oh, there he is!
Oh, come on.
What are you doing here?
Come on, YouTube. You really gonna do me like that? Like, I just went to a commercial. Come on, IGN. Do better. Do better! And you get 2 ads of that. That's crazy. Guys, subscribe if you have not subscribed. So that I can pay for YouTube Premium with the YouTube ads. Okay? Okay, so that my videos get ads.
Blackout drunk in a field?
I can't.
But the star of the show arguably is the music. Rockford herself is an aspiring Hollywood music supervisor, and as such, pop songs from the early 90s and decades before propel much of the adventure. Big artists are here, but not always alongside their biggest hits. It's a nice touch, as if someone like Rockford, a music connoisseur who dreams of a profession centered on unearthing audio gold to match a mood, has curated the soundtrack. I particularly enjoy the way you can walk around and get her to comment and give analysis on some songs, like some sort of Patrick Bateman with far less violent intentions.
Portishead's debut album, Dummy. A must-have. Cinematic, ambitious, ahead of its time. Just like
Nice.
The opening skate to Devo's That's Good is the perfect high-energy pace setter, whereas the scuzzy Love by the Smashing Pumpkins provides a fantastic
yo.
backdrop for some explosive.
She just flipped off the car.
So intrinsically to its music in such a charming way since Simogo's Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I couldn't get enough. It consistently hits a delightful cross-section of games, music and movies. From Dazed and Confused to Ladybird, it reminds me of some of my favourite coming-of-age stories, without ever feeling like pastiches of them. Mixtape does this elegantly and with a genuine love for the genre its creators clearly hold close, as Beethoven and Dinosaur itself comes of age with its so more effort. But it isn't just tonally looking towards cinema. It plays with the form, in turn becoming a mixed media wonderland of a video game. There's the glorious, painstakingly handcrafted Spider-Verse-esque animation that enraptures at a glance, along with the use of grainy live-action stock footage, music video-like editing ribbons, and fun fourth-wall breaks. It's not afraid to experiment and nerd out when it comes to stamping different styles on different scenes, and is all the better for it, keeping things constantly fresh. Look, I was always going to be a mark for Mixtape. As a coming-of-age movie lover with an ear often lent to the guitar music of decades past, and someone who likes to indulge in the bittersweet sensation of melancholy, it's as if Beethoven and Dinosaur made this just for me. I mean, it even references David Shire's unused Apocalypse Now score in an early scene. I can't help but fear I've been actively spied on. But the beauty of Mixtape...
Guys, so I think the reviewer is, is obviously, which is fine. He's biased towards the music,
Is that
So he's biased towards the music and he's biased toward the feeling of the game, and you can tell it's his type of game, which is fair. It is completely fair for a reviewer to have a bias on the game. However, you are a journalist, okay? So you're a journalist and you have to review a game. You're getting paid to review a game without any biases. So let's keep that in mind as well.
button press?
Oh, this section. This is what I'm talking about.
Nostalgia is a bittersweet feeling, but one we can't help but fall into the clutches of, whether by choice or not. It's a sensation immaculately captured by Mixtape, a soulful journey that creates new memories you felt like you've had for years at every turn. Each song choice is perfectly matched to the novel vignette it backs, delivering a new fleeting joy with every chapter, a surprising gameplay twist.
It definitely looks like a great story to tell. Actually, it's looking more interesting now that I'm seeing more gameplay of it. And of course I get a new ad, so perfect. I get to yap a bit more. Guys, you can tell the reviewer, it's like I said, he's biased. This is his game. It is a 16-minute review for a 3-hour game. Let's keep this in mind. A 3-hour game. Oh, what's going on down
Reviews
here?
director
Oh, he
Tom Hutch
interviews.
here with Simon
Okay.
Carty, our reviewer for Mixtape, to talk a little bit more about
Gameplay twists are woven throughout its funny yet touching
So it's a
campaign.
10-minute review.
A musical delight from start to finish, Mixtape sets a new standard for coming-of-age stories and video games, and does so with a masterful sense of style.
So, it was reviewed on PS5. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece of a game, of a coming-of-age story. And then, not only is it the 9-minute review, then you have like 7 more minutes of a guy interviewing the reviewer and him just spewing out the love that he has for this game. That's completely okay. But you are not just a regular old YouTuber reviewing your favorite game. You know? It's not me reviewing God of War Ragnarok and be like, yo, this is a 10 out of 10. Kratos is doing his thing. Atreus, there, blah, blah, blah. But God of War Ragnarok is not a 10 out of 10. You know what a 10 out of 10 is? The Last of Us Part 1. That is a 10 out of 10. It is a masterpiece of a game. Anybody with any sense of anything is going to like that game. There is not anybody that has disliked The Last of Us Part 1. If you dislike The Last of Us Part 1, you don't like anything, okay? So, Last of Us Part 1, maybe Uncharted 2, maybe a Metal Gear game, God of War 2018, but not even God of War 2018 could be a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people, not so much for others. But Last of Us Part 1 to me is that example of a 10 out of 10 video game that has not been surpassed since the game came out. There has been no game better than The Last of Us Part 1, and you can prove me wrong in the comment section. I dare you, because you will not be able to do it. Okay? Ever since Last of Us Part 1 came out, okay, in 2013 on the PlayStation 3, no game has surpassed that. Okay? I mean, Red Dead, Rockstar, but Rockstar's in a different league. Okay? Let's leave Rockstar, GTA 6 out of it. Okay? Last of Us Part 1. And then them giving this game a 10 out of 10, for me, it's weird that you're getting paid to review a game without any bias, okay? So you're getting paid to review a game without any bias, and you have the decency. You have not the decency. What was that word? The audacity. That's the word I'm looking for. You have the audacity to say that this game is a 10 out of 10 and you give Crimson Desert a 6 out of 10, I believe, or I think it was, yeah, it was a 6. You're giving other games a 7. You gave the Michael Jackson movie a 3, and this game gets a 10. Something is telling me that there's some bias going on in this review right here. Right? Like your alarms have to sound off. Your alarms have to go ding 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 ding. There is something wrong with IGN giving this game a 10 out of 10. Their credibility now goes a bit lower. Right? Because obviously the guy that played this, and like I will say it again, it is perfectly fair for you to have a type of game that you love. My type of game is action adventure, right? But if an Uncharted 5 comes out and the story is crap and the gameplay is not innovative or is not something new, it's not a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. I can't give it. And if I do give it, somebody else is going to be like, yeah, bro, it's... But this is not a 10 out of 10 game. Look at the gameplay. Look at the story. It's not a 10 out of 10. So, with this, giving it a 10 out of 10, of course it has to cause controversy. And I don't know if you do want it to cause controversy so that people like us be reacting to this. But you got it, I guess. But guys, these people, so-called game journalists, your whole job is to play video games and talk about them in an unbiased way. I know sometimes it's tough. I know sometimes you have a lot of games to play. This year is packed. You got a lot of stuff to play. I get it. However, your audience wants a certain type of quality and honesty and truthfulness from you guys to us so that we can make a decision whether we want to play this game or not. I know IGN is not the only one, but IGN is a big one. Okay? IGN's score can influence maybe how the developers get a bonus or however the case may be. So game journalists are also responsible for how a game sells, because a lot of people just look at the IGN video and be like, oh, a 10? Oh, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, a 6? Nah, screw that. Right? A lot of people don't make judgments for themselves, and that's where you guys come in, right? So you guys, game journalists, have a certain responsibility with your job, okay? So this whole controversy, guys, I just wanted to give my opinion on it. And it looks like a good game. It looks like it's cool. It has a cool concept. But it's a 3-hour game. Why is this a masterpiece? And why isn't other games that have longer length, that have crazy worlds, not a 10 out of 10, but this one is? You know? In 3 hours, you can just focus on the story and be like, okay, in these 3 hours, I'm going to give you the best that I can. Okay? And that's fine. That works. But with that same mentality, the reviewer has to come in and be like, okay, this is a 3-hour game. It might not be for everyone. There's some things here that so that's just my opinion, guys. Like I said, it looks like a great game. I won't judge it so much for the 3 hours, but there's a lot of games coming out this year, and to spend the money on something that's only going to last you 3 hours with all the games that are coming out, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe was IGN paid to give that 10 out of 10? It was reviewed on PS5. Maybe Sony wants to push this game out. Who knows what's really in the background? But we just have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think this game deserves a 10 out of 10? Is it your type of game? Is it not your type of game? Let me know down in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. Jesus loves you. And until next time, guys, let's game.